But it was clear that, some of them were confused as to how they even arrived there, and many of them did not commit a crime at all. And so there's this confusion as to what rights folks are being afforded to and what due process looks like.
As immigration enforcement continues to increase across several parts of our country, so does the number of individuals who have been detained by ICE here in southern Nevada. Good evening, I'm Dana Wagner. Marie has the night off tonight. Detainees are now being held at the Nevada Southern Detention Center in Pahrump. Our News 3's George Acosta joins us here in the studio this evening, and you had a chance to speak to a state senator about his recent visit to that detention facility and what he encountered there. George joins us with more on that one.
Well, yeah, Dana, Thursday morning, members of the Nevada Latino Legislative Caucus toured and met with individuals at the Nevada Southern Detention Center who had been detained by ICE officials. Now, State Senator Fabian Doñate tells me while the facility met with upkeep and sanitary requirements, he says what sparked concern was the rights being violated.
There were about 1,000 individuals, 400 of them, 40% of them were ICE detainees. The question that obviously came to fruition was what we learned from many of the immigrants that we spoke to was that many of them were picked up by ICE, had not committed a crime before then.
Senator Doñate says while many of the detainees were offered legal services, it wasn't until days or even weeks later when many of them were allowed those services.
It was clear that they had the ability to contact legal services, right? There was translation services available to them, but ICE was not frequently visiting there, right? There was a lack of miscommunication between the officials that were operating the detention center and then also those who worked with ICE directly. So if individuals needed to receive translation services, right, there wasn't someone that could support them immediately. They had to wait for ICE to be present at the facility.
Doñate says two men he had spoken with at the detention facility had been living in the state for several years and were in the next steps of their immigration process when both were detained at the federal courthouse without the right to due process.
What we're noticing, right, are people who are attempting to be here legally that are going through the legal process are those that have been lawfully present. That's a violation of human rights that we're seeing here in our state and also across our country. Our visit to the ICE detention facility confirmed what we believed, which was that there are people who are here lawfully present or attempting to be lawfully present, but they are unfortunately not being able to complete that process because of ICE intervening.
Now, Doñate also says after speaking with detainees, many of them said they had been informed by ICE officials the only rights they had was the right to self-deport.
I want to make sure that it's clear that what we're seeing right now is not just an attack on immigrants, we're seeing an attack on lawful immigrants and U.S. citizens. And so when there is a infringement on our due process and our civil liberties, that's an attack on everyone.
Now, Senator Doñate says he, alongside members of the Nevada Latino Legislative Caucus, are working to ensure detainees have the right to due process. Now, he also says he encourages people who may be vulnerable to this type of situation to get informed on their rights. Now, we have a list of those resources under this story on our website. But for now, reporting in studio, George Acosta, News 3.